What's going on, everyone? Anthony here, and welcome to another edition of the show. This week we have Bethany from the band We Three, and everybody's been talking about the new song Heaven's Not Too Far Away, which is a song they performed on America's Got Talent. During this podcast, we really focused on the music aspect of things. I asked her about any new music that could potentially come out and any new tours that could happen in the near future, and we also talked about some of her influences growing up and what inspired her and her brothers to do music. You can download the new single and check out their music at we3music.com. It was a really nice interview, and I'm happy that she took the time to do it for us. Appreciate having you on the show.
Yeah, no problem.
I like to always start off whether we talk to a lot of people from movies and music. Obviously, you come from a family with a musical background, but what was some of your personal influences when growing up that kind of inspired you to get into music, or was it just your family?
In our community, our small community of McMinnville, we actually had quite a few outlets when it came to the school programs. We were very involved in middle school, is kind of where we joined into the music program there. Lots of outlets. We had incredible teachers, Mark Dana, and then we got into high school, Dana Lebanati, who just created a really competitive yet exciting kind of just music program. So they definitely inspired us. And then we each had personal private teachers, Elizabeth Walzick, who taught each of us piano, and then myself bass. So our teachers for sure were huge inspirations to us.
Like, who were some of your favorite bands listening to when growing up?
Oh yeah. So personally for myself, Earth, Wind and Fire, our dad and his siblings, they were a cover band, and so they played lots of the top 40s and did some Earth, Wind and Fire, Tower of Power. They did Chicago, the Doobie Brothers, kind of just like the classic 80s stuff is what we grew up on.
That's cool.
Yeah, so yeah, definitely that genre.
Yeah, it seems like the newer bands that are coming up, their parents or other people that were around for that era of music, it's so influential because a lot of stuff came out of that era.
Yeah.
You know, it seems performing before you were on the America's Got Talent, did you perform live before, like in front of people? Were you kind of used to performing in front of that many people, or was it kind of like a slower process to like playing gigs maybe back in school or something like that?
Yeah, so when we each graduated, even because my younger brother Manuel, he is almost 4 years younger than I, 3.5 years. So
Okay.
we were playing consistently throughout the summer, just summer shows, summer concerts. Even while he was in high school, we were taking the band pretty seriously. So we definitely played lots of summer festivals. Our summers are pretty booked out and have been for the last couple years. Maybe not every single weekend, but close to every weekend throughout the summer. We've played a few venues as big as AGT, just a stage, not like obviously the millions of people who watch, but stage-wise, we played in Portland multiple times for the 10 Grand concerts at the Arlene Schnitzer Concert Hall. So we've done that multiple times for the last couple of years, which has been just a really cool experience, and I think kind of helped us feel more comfortable on that big of a stage.
Yeah,
So we
sure.
were grateful we had that experience to walk in and not feel as nervous because the judges obviously made us.
Yeah, all under that much pressure. Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
as far as the music, are you releasing an album? I saw that it was kind of being released in like pieces. Is that correct?
Yes, and so things have changed a tiny bit because that all happened before the AGT process
Sure.
started. So nothing's confirmed, but we definitely have a ton of new music on the way. That's all we're saying right
that's
now.
good. That's good to know.
The
Yeah.
details of it, yeah, the details aren't, there's not specifics on how it's going to be released, but we've got a lot of new music. We're in the studio every day right now.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I feel like even the way like music, how it's released now, you know, with streaming and everything, it seems like, you know, releasing stuff in pieces, it kind of helps people, you know, kind of really dig into the music because now like a lot of people are about releasing things in small quantities or when they can. So I think it's a good way of like leading people into the next like cycle of music whenever that is. I'm sure you can't wait to get out, you know, on the road and start playing some of the new songs too.
Oh, totally. Yep, you got to have stuff. You have to have content out pretty regularly in this day and age. It's just kind of instant gratification. And so as musicians, it's really important to keep content coming. as much as possible. So whether you release things as singles and then, you put all that onto an EP and then eventually an album, there's so many different ways to do it. You just got to be creative.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that
So,
like adapting with that, and of course like by the like how kind of how the industry kind of changes too. Like once you get the shows and you get the merch and everything like that's going to be like
yeah,
the main that's going to be the main thing of like how people make money because nobody buys that many albums anymore. So it seems
I
like now
know.
through like shows and that constant grinding, the fact that all you guys are already been doing it, you're so used to it already to where you're just like, all right, we can
We
just
really
kind
are,
of
yeah.
take this and run with it.
Yeah, and I don't think we realize that, and because sometimes you feel like you're just spinning your wheels and you're not getting anything done.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then we've been doing that for the last like 5 years, and then this whole process came on, and we realized kind of the work ethic that we had created was so helpful in this process because it's been so much work. But I mean, it's been more work than normal in some senses. But we realized, wow, we've made a lot of progress on our own, and we didn't think that we did. So, I mean, if we ever talk to musicians who are doing it on their own, it's like the biggest thing we'd say is keep doing what you're doing, even if it feels like you're not getting anything done. It applies in so many other areas when bigger opportunities come. Like, you don't realize how much you've accomplished until something like this comes around, and you're like, oh, cool, we know how to do this.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Because
So,
I think that's the thing. It's like some people get discouraged, but it's like no. Sometimes you got to play to like
yeah,
5 to 10 people. You got to grind. That's just
you have to.
it's important just to kind of go through it and see the end. Like knowing that hey, this is what I love to do. This is a passion of mine. Constantly learning your craft. If you had to tour with one band, maybe one of your favorite bands, who would it be?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I have to speak for my brothers too.
As a band, maybe who
I
would you
guess
like
I'll
to?
go. Well, huge inspirations for us right now. Ed Sheeran as a songwriter,
Yeah,
for sure. Imagine Dragons as just a live band that kills it, and their songwriting is incredible, obviously. But something for us is they do it all on stage, like they do it live. It's a band. It's
yeah.
different than just a solo act. So it's super inspirational to us. John Mayer, because of his production side of things, what he creates in the studio, we like to do so much of it ourselves. And then he's an incredible live performer. Um, I mean, I love Julia Michaels. Her songwriting is just incredible and outside of the box, and it's different.
Mhm.
And I think that's really important to find your own identity in songwriting. You have to obviously find out, what people want to hear, but you can put your own spin on things, and you can almost tell people what they want to hear if it's good enough. So those four at the moment. I hope the boys don't get mad at me if I left anyone out. So those are our big inspirations at the moment, I'd say.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear. Well, thank you so much for taking a little bit of time out of your day for doing this. Like, good luck with everything and all the success. I
Oh,
hope you
thank
guys
you.
are able to, get out there, release some new music, and keep making music from the heart. And I think
Thank you.
that's what people really appreciate at the end of the day, because music really does move people, and it helps them out. And that's just
Yeah.
the best way to do it is just to never stop.
Yeah. Well, I so appreciate it. Thank you so much for reaching out to us.